Welcome back, U.S. history students. Hope you had a good first week. A lot of you guys were working through the assignments well. You're getting things in on time. A couple of things to focus on as we move forward this week. Um, I know a lot of you guys are still doing these assignments on your phone, but we need to use academic language, all right, proper punctuation, proper capitalization when we're turning in these assignments. Okay, where we're going this week, all right, on Friday, you guys watched a Ed puzzle introducing World War II and the United States' role in World War II. So this week, we're going to be focusing on World War II. Okay, so to get us started today, all right, we have our aim, all right, and we're trying to identify the reasoning for United States neutrality at the start of World War II. All right. And remember, our key term here is neutral. So we're trying to figure out what's the reasoning for why the US is neutral at the beginning of World War II. Another takeaway from the student work in week one is a lot of you guys are skipping the do nows. All right. Pause the video right now. Try to come up with an answer for your do now, and then we'll move on. All right, so after attempting your do now, okay, we're gonna now just transition into our fast facts. And some of these fast facts are gonna be repeating from the Ed puzzle, and that's more than fine. So fast facts number one, all right, the Great Depression continued throughout the 1930s. All right, we learned about, we wrote about, we talked about the New Deal. It's trying to fix those problems society is facing. And as we talked about last week, the New Deal has programs that are major successes, but it also has a lot of programs that are failures. And the New Deal itself does not pull the US out of the Great Depression. All right, a lot of historians argue that the New Deal maybe slowed down the problems. It slowed down the unemployment rate. It got some people back to work, but it does not bring a complete end to the Great Depression. All right. In Europe, okay, across the Atlantic Ocean, we see that the rise of Hitler in Germany leads to political and social tension worldwide. All right. We talked about when we covered World War I, Treaty of Versailles, how that kind of gives a platform for Hitler's political rise in Germany. He uses the anger in Germany. He points at Western Europe, America as the enemies for the political and military sanctions that are placed on Germany, and he rises to power in the 1930s. All right. Hitler invades Poland, 1939, which is the beginning of World War II. Okay, so 1939 is the start date of World War II, and it's that invasion of Poland, that expansion of Germany that sparks World War II. At the outbreak of World War II, the US remains neutral. Okay, similarity to World War I. World War I breaks out in Europe, US stays neutral. Okay, it's the same kind of beginning of the story for World War II. One thing that's also similar is that the US, though, tries to benefit economically during World War II. They try to create trade opportunities with the countries fighting. Okay, and the economic impact of World War II is immense. It's humongous for the United States. Okay, and the supplying of these wartime goods is really what pulls the US out of the Depression. All right, you see manufacturing start to pick up steam after the outbreak of World War II. These companies begin hiring, and slowly the wheels of the economy start to turn again. All right, so this is our background for what we're going to be doing today. So on your handout, you can see we're not going to be looking at a political cartoon. All right, so on the PowerPoint that's provided, you have this political cartoon as well. So we're just going to go through our steps for breaking down this cartoon. All right, so first let's look at characters. Okay, we have this single character laying in a bed. He's got the stars, he's got the stripe, he's got the beard. All right, we know that this is Uncle Sam. Excuse my handwriting. All right, so Uncle Sam, he's representative of the United States. Okay, now we look at the other bed and we see all these other individuals and they're labeled as Europe. Okay, these people are laying in a different bed. Okay, and you see the kind of name tags hang above them: fascist fever, Nazi fever, Blitzpock, Hitleritis. It's referring to those problems that are facing Europe collectively. Now let's go to the text. All right, thought bubble from Uncle Sam. And he's saying, what a lucky thing we've got separate beds. Okay, then the text at the bottom saying, ho hum, no chance of contagion, no chance of getting sick. Okay, fun fact, this is actually drawn by Dr. Seuss. He draws a lot of World War II propaganda, and we'll look at more as the unit goes on. So after we have broken down that cartoon, you have some analysis questions that you are going to be answering. Okay, when you are done with those analysis questions, you're going to be shifting directly into this reading that's outlining the U.S. foreign policy at the end of World War II. Okay, you can pause the video, work on these two little activities, and then start the video back up, and I'll explain the last activity we're going to be doing. So the final activity, and you'll see it on your handout here, is focusing on what is known as the Lend-Lease Act. Okay, you have some historical context provided to you here. All right, and this is an excerpt from FDR himself. Okay, and he's going to be giving this speech to explain to the American people what the Lend-Lease Act is. One very important thing we need to understand about this speech is that FDR is giving an analogy. Okay, he's comparing two things to paint a picture to the American people. Okay, so he's going to be talking about what's going on with World War II, and then he's going to be creating this hypothetical situation and explaining how the U.S. is approaching this outbreak of war. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be using this text to answer the questions in this chart. All right, so the first row of the chart, you're detailing what is FDR referring to in this story he's telling, the made-up situation. All right, he's going to talk about an item that's being borrowed. He's going to talk about payment, and then what happens if this item is destroyed or damaged. Okay, then you're going to be making a connection to World War II itself. Okay, what is the U.S. doing during World War II to help out the countries that are fighting? Okay, so what items are they allowing countries to borrow? Is payment being expected? And then what happens if those things are destroyed or damaged? Okay, to conclude today, all right, you have a little summary task. Okay, you'll be typing it in here. Your question is right here, and it's referring mostly to this Lend-Lease Act. As always, any questions or concerns, please reach out to me. All right, hope you guys are doing well, and see you soon.